Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Sports Insight with your host, Alamdar Khan. And yes, this will be totally sports-based program. But today's transmission is going to be super interesting. Why? Because it's Pakistan versus New Zealand. Yes, it's going to be a very interesting clash that we'll be definitely talking about. And a little bit of time for the match to start rolling in, and we're all very excited to see what's happening and what's not going to happen. You guys can definitely reach us on our Twitter handle, which is at Indus News Sports. But anyways, let's talk about the 3 T20s and the 2 ODIs that the team will be playing in New Zealand. Well, if we actually go back to how Pakistani cricket team went to New Zealand during these COVID times, which were really hard for them, and the hardships that they actually had to face. Let's talk about how Pakistan actually went there. But before going there, they actually had the thought of obviously winning, because of the fact that, if you remember, Pakistan had this tour recently with Zimbabwe in Pakistan. So when they had that, they were like in all forms and they were all ready. But at that very moment, if you remember, because of all that victory that we got through those matches, because obviously there was only one match that Zimbabwe ended up winning. And Pakistan obviously won the series, but remember, that was the home soil. So now, when Pakistani cricket team moved into the idea of moving to New Zealand, that was obviously the tricky part for them. Why? Because at that very moment, during those times when all of this was happening, Babar Azam was officially appointed as the captain for all of the 3 leagues, which is the Test, the ODIs, and the T20s. But currently, the sad part that things are slowly and gradually changing, so we'll be talking more about that. So yes, one more important thing, even if we look back, like currently, when the team was going to New Zealand, it was the very last day when Fakhar Zaman turned out to be COVID positive, and he was obviously going through his recovery, and because of that, the team could not let him on board, which is definitely a sad part for the team, because Fakhar Zaman surely is one of our main key players. But anyways, the team goes to New Zealand. So now what really happens is, after being ruled out, if you really think about it, the last performance that he actually gave was like 65 of 76 balls, which is like one of the performances that I personally love. But unfortunately, Fakhar Zaman could not go. When the 54-member squad reached New Zealand, the interesting part was that, there were 34 players along with 20 officials as per PCB. But yes, once they were there, unfortunately, they ended up 6 of them ended up being positive of the entire contingent, which is definitely the sad part. And it was a very tricky situation for the team to hold up. So eventually they were not allowed to play or maybe go for net practice and or even work out and stuff. Why? Because they were trying to keep them in isolation as much as possible. During those times, even our PCB chairperson, Mr. Wasim Khan, actually had this word with Babar Azam stating that, you please actually provide us all the information with regards to the health and the mental capacity of the players that are really fit to get into the match and start playing without the practice. Obviously, New Zealand was trying to ensure that the COVID element is taken care of. So during that really time, it was a straight hard-on message that sorry, but because of the fact that Corona is out there, it would be very difficult for the team to go out for the practices, which definitely creates an environment of losing hope. So it specifically was asked by the PCB chief, and the task was given to Babar Azam to ask him whether the team was mentally ready on a level to play against New Zealand. But anyways, as soon as the team came out, their morale went up, and they started practicing, and but yet again, another big blow for Pakistan. 2 individuals that actually ended up being unwell. Yes, Imamul Haq got his thumb fractured, and same went for Babar Azam. So the biggest blow that actually came up to our team is obviously losing Fakhar Zaman, now losing Imamul Haq, and now losing Babar Azam. So it's been a tricky situation for all of us, and not practicing while being in New Zealand. So that was like really one of the tricky parts for the team. But anyways, we're still hoping, we're still trying, and we're looking at Pakistan's interesting lineup. If we talk about the lineup of the people that we know right now who would be on board, because we still need to know the final 11 who will be playing. So let's talk about the entire lineup. It's Shadab Khan, it's Abdullah Shafiq, Fahim Ashraf, Haider Ali, Haris Rauf, Hussain Talat, Iftikhar Ahmed, Imad Wasim, Khushdil Shah, Muhammad Hafiz, Muhammad Hasnain, Muhammad Rizwan, Sarfaraz Ahmed, Shaheen Shah Afridi, and Wahab Riaz. So, yes, it is an interesting lineup, but not to forget that we are still missing out on our best skipper, our best captain. Obviously, now that he's not playing, Shadab Khan is going to be the captain for now. With regards to that, obviously, Shadab Khan himself, if we look at his consistency with how he is going and how he's been lately, has also been slightly trickier, because Shadab Khan not only obviously has like all the courage and all the motivation to look into the matter of holding the captaincy, but yet again, if we look into the entire team, all of the individuals have the capabilities to prove their worth. But yes, Shadab Khan recently obviously said that, Babar Azam would definitely be missed, but his absence is the best opportunity for new players to showcase their talent. Yes, he's absolutely right. And, the team should be ready to show the aggressive performance like Babar Azam. So it's a very interesting statement that he gave. And, obviously, it's going to give us a clear picture of the youngsters that he's been talking about, or of the team members that he's talking about, because sometimes, things get tough, not only for the team members themselves, but obviously, but then you all have to play as one. So looking into that, I hope all the team members that we've talked about, and the 11-member team that would actually be announced, maybe in a few minutes, should be spot on, and their motivation level should be high, because at the end of it all, the motivation level is actually that matters. One more interesting thing about these the list of players that I'm talking about right now is that they had a very little chance to understand and feel the soil. So I'll definitely get into that part as well, because we need to have a very clear picture of how these fighters who are out there to fight and win against obviously against New Zealand, because obviously they had a good history with regards to Zimbabwe, but this is like a very tricky situation because they're also in another country and they never had a chance to actually practice as much as they should have. But anyways, we'll surely be looking at that. And not only that, let's talk about, like as I was mentioning, Shadab Khan's remarks. Shadab Khan obviously said that, they're looking at shorter boundaries. Obviously, when we talk about shorter boundaries, but it's still tricky because, people are expecting it to be more of a batting pitch. And, from what's heard so far, it's more of a bowling pitch, and we'll definitely look into that side as well. And one more thing that I discussed earlier as well, that Shadab Khan also is facing a few issues with regards to his leg muscles. Okay, specifically leg muscles, let's talk about his stance of how he bowls. When you look at his bowling stance, if you see, there's this, you can actually see right now that, his actual stance of, maybe just putting his left foot forward and twisting his entire ankle. So this has actually brought him to a point of, a bit of injuries that he's been recently developing. So yet again, it's a tricky situation. Our whole team is in the midst of, how will we be managing the entire situation? Obviously, he's like one of our key leg spinners, but obviously causing injury to his groins, and specifically when you have that stance, obviously he's working on it. It's not that he's not. He's trying his level best to work on it so that this injury element cannot be a part of his journey as a cricketer. But yes, like I said, the motivation is still there. So let's talk more about the pair that we were missing. Yes, let's talk about Fakhar Zaman, who is missing right now. And let's talk about Babar Azam, who is unfortunately unfit. So if this pair that we're talking about, like Fakhar Zaman's performance, as I mentioned before, his performance was spot on. I mean, like the last time he played against New Zealand, if I remember, yes, against New Zealand, he was spot on. And with regards to that, not only that, Babar Azam's performance, obviously he's like, Babar Azam is like, right now on the second number, he's like one of the best batsmen we've got, one of the best captains we have had. And we've been like hoping and, having, and obviously he had a lot of burden on his shoulders, but right now, we wish him the best because of the injury. So if we look at Abdullah Shafiq and if we look at Haider Ali, for instance, and if they begin, their performance as, the lead players or the key openers, will these two youngsters, like 20-year-old and 21-year-old youngsters, will have the strength to carry the entire burden, or or take charge of the lead that we actually want as a Pakistan cricket team? Well, we'll definitely be looking into that. But for instance, if both of these openers don't show up, let's talk about, for instance, Mohammad Hafiz. Yes, for instance, we talk about Mohammad Hafiz, and because he's experienced, so maybe we may have him as one of the key openers. But like I said, it's a very tricky situation for the entire team to ensure that how exactly will they plan, how will Shadab Khan plan the entire agenda to look into on how to expedite the whole plan, because it is risky but desperate situation call for desperate measures, exactly. So it's going to be very, very interesting. But anyways, how about getting into more details with one of our guests right now, who is like a cricket expert, Mr. Adnan Qureshi, and let's see what he has to say with regards to the whole situation. Hello, Adnan.
Hey, how are you, Alandar? How are you doing?
I am well. How are you yourself?
Doing very well, buddy. Thank you for asking.
So Adnan, tell me the entire situation. As we all know that the situation with regards to Pakistan versus New Zealand, the first match is today. Our team being in isolation, our team obviously not being in a position to have regular net practices, or and specifically when it comes to this whole COVID situation, it kind of gets into their mind as well. But obviously their morals are high, but Babar Azam is missing. So there's a lot of happening. What do you think? How do you see the first match will definitely, be, as soon as the match starts, so how do you see it happening for the country?
Well, I feel the Pakistan team hasn't got the practice that they required. They should have, definitely got more practice in New Zealand conditions. New Zealand conditions are very tricky. Historically, we haven't done very well in New Zealand. It doesn't suit our style of cricket at all. But having said that, of course, Babar Azam's loss is huge. You just cannot make it up. He's scoring 23% of the total runs that Pakistan scores in T20 matches. I don't know how they're going to come, how they're going to take out that deficit, because Babar Azam is a pillar, and historically our batting hasn't done well in New Zealand. The conditions don't suit our batting.
But okay, so but what about this new? Obviously, Babar Azam is missing. Fakhar Zaman is missing. How do you see these new youngsters like Abdullah Shafiq and Haider Ali, or kind of people who are still out there, who are still hoping to add more to their performance, because it's their chance to prove their worth, if they manage to do so, because if you look back into their performance lately, but obviously they did not have a chance to practice, to have that practice in the tricky situation in New Zealand. But how do you see these youngsters getting the opportunity to prove their worth?
I've seen these guys play in Pakistan. Haider Ali is a very good prospect, but I don't think they're letting him play his natural game. And that is going to hurt him, because the way Glenn Phillips for New Zealand, the way they've just unleashed him in T20s and just let him play his natural cricket, natural style of aggression. Haider Ali naturally is an aggressive player, but I've seen that for some reason the Pakistan team management, because of the very weak batting lineup, they've forced him not to play his game. They're not letting him really come out and attack, and I think that's a bad strategy. They should let him attack. It's a T20 game. Let him play his game. If he gets out, that's fine, but let him play his natural game. But I think that's very important.
The tricky part again is that it's the overall Eden Park. If we talk about the stadium itself, it's a very tricky situation, because obviously you need to be very expert with regards to your batting skills to ensure that you play those drives, and because obviously the pretty shorter boundaries for T20, but obviously lacking experience is one thing. But for them, I think if they get a chance to prove their worth, because like you say, he wants to open up, but yet again he's still he's been held back. But what if he's given this opportunity this time and is asked to go on the aggressive side? So what do you think? Would that work for Pakistan's way, or would it work for the opposite?
So I think what they need to do is utilize the first couple of overs because Eden Park has very small boundaries on the leg and the offside. So what they need to play is cross-barreled strokes in the beginning and try to score runs over the top and get as many boundaries as possible to get a great start. I still feel the X factor in today's match is going to be Mohammad Hafiz because he's experienced one and he's had a breakaway year in T20s. He's just doing phenomenally and he's played very well this whole year. So I think Mohammad Hafiz is going to be a very, very important factor for Pakistan. I don't know if they're going to open with him or play him at
Yes, that's
number
exactly.
4.
That's like something that we're currently looking at, because if Mohammad Hafiz turns up, he has the right experience that we need. But obviously, with Mohammad Hafiz, we will need one of these youngsters to prove their worth. And besides that, let's talk about the New Zealand side, because New Zealand side is like all ready to roll, and that's going to be very interesting because right now if we talk about the captain himself,
Yes.
Satner, like he's like all ready for it. He's like already charged, and he knows that he knows, like Martin. Let's talk about Martin Guptill. All these players are so mentally ready to prove their worth as batsmen, and yes, they are aggressive batsmen. So if we ball first or we bat first, how do you see? Because our core competency, from how I see right now, is still on the bowling side, right?
Right. So what I would do, I mean, and I would really like Pakistan to do this as well, is they need to win the toss and bat first because Pakistan is not done very well chasing targets, especially with a brand new batting lineup like this, the very not too much experience in their team. They need to try to put up a big score and then try to contain the New Zealand team with their good with the bowling lineup that they have. I think we have a very good bowling lineup. If they can score about 180, 190, this is the kind of pitch this is. This is a high-scoring ground. It's not a low-scoring ground. If they score about 180, 190, even 200, they have a very good chance in containing this New Zealand batting lineup. Let's not forget that Kane Williamson is missing in the New Zealand.
Still going to be very exciting to see how it flows, because today is the first match of the T20 that we've talked about. And while we talk about Eden Park itself, smaller boundaries. Obviously, it's a T20 match, so it has smaller boundaries. It has a very contoured setup, and it definitely requires a lot of extra, experienced batting. So, but anyways, I think we all should be hoping for the very best with regards to the match that's going to happen today. If you guys want to reach out to us, you can reach out on our social media handles. Till then, you all take very good care of yourself, and looking forward for this exciting match. Till then, bye-bye.